Owl kept on walking, and the moon sailed after him, right over the tops of the trees. Moon, said Owl, I think that you do not hear me. Owl climbed up to the top of a hill, and he shouted as loudly as he could. Can you read that? Ready? Goodbye, moon! Let's see what the moon does. The moon went behind some clouds. Owl looked, and he looked. Oh, the moon was gone. It is always a little sad to say goodbye to a friend, said Owl. Well, Owl came home and he put on his pajamas. You know how he loves his pajamas. And he went to bed. And the room was very dark. And Owl was feeling a little sad. All at once, Owl's bedroom filled with a silver light. He looked out of the window. The moon was coming from behind the clouds. Moon, you have followed me all the way home. What a good, round friend you are, said Owl. You know, Owl, he always notices the details, doesn't he? Last page of the book. Then Owl put his head on the pillow. He closed his eyes, and the moon was shining down through the window. And Owl did not feel sad at all. The moon was there. Oh, and look on the back of the book.
Winter.
There's our favorite friend in the book. You know, sometimes on the back they'll write about the stories, but here they didn't have to say a word to us, did they?
Yeah.
What do you think of when you see his picture? What do you think of?
I think of
Silliness. You know, isn't that a great word to describe our friend? And it is A-okay to have silliness, especially when you're reading a book, because lots of books share silly things with us. What else do you think of?
It reminds me of a good story.
Wasn't it a good one? Or do you mean all of the good ones?
Yeah.
They're all good. Which one does it remind you of?
It reminds me of a little, it reminds me, I think that he's kind of crazy because
He is.
he thinks that the moon is alive, and he thinks that winter's alive, and he thinks that it's messing up his house.
He
I
did.
think he's just having an imagination.
Doesn't he have a great imagination? Is it good to have an imagination? It is. Do you know that if we didn't have those imaginations that God's given us, people wouldn't think of good new things to invent to make our lives more fun,
Like a color.
like a car, to make our lives better, and to help us be able to do things easier. So we think Owl is silly, we think he's a little crazy, we think he has a great imagination. Is there anything we've forgotten? Lindsay, anything we've forgotten about him?
That when he sees me something silly, he's nice.
He is very nice, isn't he? Even when he's silly, he's nice. No, what have we forgotten? Anything
like 4
else?
million really sillies.
4 million really sillies. That's about how silly he is. I agree. Ames, have we forgotten anything that you
That
found?
he tries. He just can't do it, but he tries to be nice to everything.
He does. Did he get a little, here's a good word, impatient with the winter? Remember all the things that happened inside the house? He got impatient that one time, but Ames, you are so right. He really tries to be nice. Flo, did we forget anything about him? Is he one of your all-time favorite characters?
Yes.
He is for me too, and even though I'm a grown-up, I love to read about him. Never
wish
get
he was
tired
on a
of those
movie.
stories. Wouldn't it be neat? Well, you know what, Noah? You're creative. Maybe when you get a bit older, you could make a movie about him. See, that's how people get ideas for movies. They read a book that they love, and they decide different ways they could put the characters together, and they make a movie for boys and girls to enjoy. So Noah, keep that idea back here in your parking lot, okay? You never know. And if you decide to, will you let me know? Maybe I could help. We'd have a great time doing that, wouldn't we? Well, I'm so glad that we got to read all 5 stories because they're all terrific stories. Well, you know what? This is my book because I have my treasure books, but I am going to get this one for our library so that we can check it out, okay? Because I know you love it.
Can it be ARP?
You know, I've got to take a peek and look on the computer and see. I think this is probably ARP, but I'm not going to say 100%, okay?
Yeah.
So don't
Like
hold me to that.
84.
word.
Like 84%.
Okay,
just copied me.
84% is good.
87.
You know, I like the way Hutch is raising his hand. Yes, sir. Thank you
I
for your
read
demand.
8 books yesterday.
Wow, wow.
And then one day I read the day after that. The day before that, I read 1 book, and I got 8 ARP tests.
Wonderful. And aren't you glad that we got your computer all fixed up and we're back to normal? Good. Okay, guess what it is time for you to get to do? What, Flo?
Check out books.
Yes. Now, remember, and I want to tell you this, you have 2 more weeks to check out books, then we're going to have the book fair.
Yay!
And then we're going to have the ARP store the week after that. So if you have reading to do, if you have books you want to read, 2 weeks. So you can check out 3 today. All right?
What happens if we check out 2?